All praise is due to Allah. We praise Him, we seek His aid, and we ask for His forgiveness. We seek refuge in Allah from the evils of ourselves and the evils of our actions. Whomsoever Allah guides, none can misguide. And whomsoever Allah leaves to go astray, none can guide. And I bear witness that none has the right to be worshipped except Allah alone, who has no partners. And I bear witness that Muhammad is His servant and His messenger. Dear viewers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to a new episode of your show, For the Sake of Allah. Today, we are dealing with a beautiful subject. We have our guests with us, Brother Muhammad and Brother Abdul Rahman, and I'm your host, Moutasem Al Hameedi. Today we have one of the characteristics of the Muslim character, one of the beautiful Islamic traits, which is about loyalty and keeping one's word. Now, we know that people live in this life, they have different commitments, they have tendencies, and people's life today is very busy. So people tend to only pay attention to their own business, to mind their own business, and they have done away with some of the morality that people were born with. Because man is created as a loyal person. When someone does something good to you, will you feel that you are in debt to him until you pay it back? This is human nature. This is how Allah created us. This is the fitrah. But as we proceed in this life and we interact and we go through different situations, people tend to pick up certain habits. Some of them are not recommended in Al-Islam. Now, if we talk about loyalty, the sense of loyalty falls from the main principle in Islam, al-wala and al-bara, that you associate yourself with the Muslim brothers, with the believers, and you dissociate yourself from the disbelievers. This is one of the foundations of Al-Islam. And the Prophet ﷺ mentioned it along with Al-Iman when he said, 3 characteristics, whoever has them, then he will taste the sweetness of Al-Iman, that Allah and His Messenger are more beloved to him than anything else or anybody else. And he loves the person, only loves him for the sake of Allah. So when you love a person for the sake of Allah, you associate yourself with him. And the Prophet ﷺ said, the most firm handhold in Al-Islam is al-wala wal-bara, that you love someone for the sake of Allah and you associate yourself with him, and you hate someone or you dissociate yourself from the disbelievers on account of their disbelief. Now, when we talk about loyalty and associating oneself with the believers, there are many things that fall under that. First of all, love. You love that person, you love him only for the sake of Allah. And love it incurs other things that, as we discussed in different episodes, about respect and about help and about support and about concern for your own brother. So all these fall under associating oneself with the believers. Do you think that Muslims today understand this principle in their everyday life, with their interactions when they deal with Muslims and when they deal with non-Muslims? Do they really observe this very foundational Islam? What do you think, Abdul Rahman?
There's maybe less and less Muslims that do that or that understand that concept of loyalty in Islam. And like very few actually nowadays do that. So therefore we need that concept again, because it unites Muslims and it brings back the brotherhood. It's one of the main points in the brotherhood: loyalty and trust and love.
Yeah. Muhammad, what does this situation tell you? You see a group of people who are not practicing, and a practicing brother passes by them and they start mocking him because of, for example, his beard, because of his implementing the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, and he wears Islamic clothing and he observes the sunnah in his character. Some people may be mocking him. If you were present at that time, how would you feel towards that? Would you really agree with these people?
Not at all. It's like going along with the sunnah is something to be proud of. But some people nowadays misunderstand this, the sunnah. So it's not a good thing to get along with them. You have to tell them that this is the sunnah of the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and people should be acting upon the sunnah. Actually, the thing is that loyalty would be rarely found away from practicing brotherhoods. You might find it somewhere in a non-practicing brother or something like that, but still, it's like a very rare outside the practicing brotherhood. In the brotherhood, you'll find it very common. It's a basic thing. You have to be loyal to your brother in need, in any situation, happiness, sadness, anything. You have to be loyal for him, keep up the secrets that he tells you, and things like that.
Okay. We'll come, inshallah, to aspects of loyalty and truthfulness towards your brothers. But I want to stress this point where we can see many Muslims who are not really practicing. And when they see others mocking practicing people, they take part in that. Do you think this nullifies their loyalty towards Islam and the principle of al-wala wal-bara, Abdul Rahman?
Of course, I believe so. If he takes part of it, smoking the brother, because the brother is practicing and he's not practicing and he's with other guys mocking the brother who's practicing, of course it's not being loyal at all.
Subhanallah.
It's
Yeah.
being the complete opposite.
You know, I think now it's taking a different dimension also in the media. I've seen during Ramadan, there were some series shown on different TV channels, and most of them they were Muslim channels and Arab channels broadcasting from Muslim countries. They had different series and films talking about or tackling the issue of practicing people, and the way they depicted the Muslims as if those practicing people were living in basements or living in caves and preparing some kind of, or plotting against the governments, against the leaders, and they're preparing some kind of explosives and bombs and all that, and that they have certain plans to take over the country. This is how they try to show people who are practicing. And it was the case as if the society was split into two regiments. One regiment is the practicing people, and they want to wipe off anyone else. They want to annihilate the rest of the people. They want to kill, they want to murder, they want to blow themselves up and kill others with them. And they plan some terrorist acts or terrorist operations. This is how they depicted these practicing people. On the other side, you see the people who are not really practicing. Women who go out with men, women who have no hijab, just exposing their bodies. And I can see that from the series, the people who are not really practicing, they were shown as if they are the ones who understand Islam and who have moderation. They would speak about the Prophet ﷺ, they would say the Prophet ﷺ never did that, the Prophet ﷺ was mild, he was this, he was that. And they were showing as if these are the people following the middle course. And anyone who has a beard, anyone who seemingly is a Muslim, then this man is a terrorist, he has ulterior motives, he has some plans, hidden plans, and we have to be careful of these people. And there was some kind of war between the society and the practicing people, and the practicing people want to kill everyone else. Well, this is not the reality, this is not the fact, because there might be some individuals who have deviant understandings and they want to take over, and we know that Islam is free from these people. But if you really want to be just and fair, you should show that the majority of the practicing people are people who understand the Sunnah, and they are very constructive individuals in the society. Well, some of them are doctors, some of them are engineers, some of them are journalists, some of them teachers
And
and
that
lawyers.
happens a lot nowadays, that the media, they take, for example, like the terrorists. They're really, like, if we count them by number, they're not a lot. They're exceptions. They just take the exception, they work on it, they exaggerate it, and they give the image that, okay, so all Muslims are like that.
This is the point. So our media, or those who are in the field of media, most of them, they have this problem of al-wala al-bara, of loyalty towards the Muslims.
Yes.
Yeah.
They don't really realize that they are helping the enemies of the Muslims, and they are helping distorting the image of Islam. So now the impression that the people had after watching these series is that everyone who is practicing, who seemingly follows the Sunnah, then he's a potential terrorist. So be aware of this person, keep away from him. You see how it's very important to have the right sense of loyalty towards Islam and Muslims.
And as you said, it's like coming up from Muslims to present things to the society that being men or men dressed up in a jilbab, white one, is against the whole society, which is totally wrong.
Yeah.
You need to make the sunnah show up a little bit more, not in a wrong way, like women go on without hijab and they say, oh, it's all right. No, it's like, go back to the sunnah and see how women are in Islam. They're not like oppressed people or something like that. No, they have a high standard in Islam. But you have to show up, like as you said, wala to Islam. You have to show it up.
Yeah, that's it. When you have this kind of al-wala or loyalty towards Islam, you would appreciate your religion. And you would appreciate everyone who follows this religion. And we know the religion of Islam is about the truth. It's about understanding the reality of this life, implementing the law of the creator of the heavens and the earth. By means of that, we attain paradise, inshallah. So, a Muslim should really understand what his religion is all about. And then he will have, inshallah, the right sense of loyalty. But these people, mainly who work in the field, or some of them, I say, who work in the field of media, they really need to understand their religion before they start tackling sensitive issues like these. So they would be harming Islam and the Muslims more than they would be doing good. Maybe their intentions are good. We don't accuse them with regards to their intentions. But what they are doing is destructive. It destroys this nation, destroys the brotherhood.
You should have more knowledge, especially when you start talking about religion and Islam. Religion is generally something really big. No one could just come and talk about it. They have to take care.
And we say to our brothers and sisters, the Muslims who are not really practicing, and well, practicing is a relative thing. We say to them, you are Muslims. And these practicing people, don't think that they are monsters or they are terrorists. They are people like you, your brothers and your sisters. And if you want to talk about them and know their reality, mix with them and you will be surprised at the good manners they have, at the very beautiful character that they really present to the people. Inshallah, I want to elaborate on this because it's a very important thing, because most of our youth, they have an identity problem, and we want to tackle that because it's part of the loyalty we're talking about, and we will see what effects it has on brotherhood. We'll come back, inshallah, in a few minutes, and I say to our viewers, stay tuned, we'll come back shortly, inshallah.
الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم.
A light from Allah in the darkness.
له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه.
A guide from Allah in the confusion.
يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء.
Cure from Allah for every sickness.
وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم.
The Quran. Join me, Muhammad Timham, as we study the beautiful passages of the Quran and the great lessons that they contain in Lessons from the Quran.
Study about the glorious lessons that connect us to our Creator, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, in Lessons from the Quran. Every Thursday at 11 p.m. and repeat telecast at 12 p.m. Saudi Arabia on Peace TV. Thursdays provide.
In Britain, we are facing one big problem, that are you Muslim or British?
The space to talk.
In India, back home, they ask, are you a Muslim first or Indian first? And we Muslims should know how to reply, how to turn the tables over.
The place to knock.
Why Trinity cannot be regarded in that sense, Father, Son and Holy Spirit?
The opportunity to ask.
But even if we agree that what the Christians say, that he was crucified, so if Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, died for 3 days, who controlled the world? That means even God died?
The freedom to unmask.
So there are various ways which we can prove the argument to be wrong.
Let's meet Dr. Zakir every Thursday at 6:30 p.m. and repeat telecast at 9:30 a.m. Saudi Arabia on Peace TV.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back. So, loyalty in Islam is very important, and truthfulness towards the believers. Now, we discussed the issue of those who are involved in the media and they don't really understand Islam as they should do. So, by means of them intending to help their religion, they do the opposite. They hurt Islam and they hurt the Muslims. So, we should have a sense of loyalty when we deal with such issues. So we know who the true practicing people are, and we don't oppress them by means of the things that we have in our hands. Now, as I said, this is in the media, and on the individual level it exists. Sometimes people, they are with non-Muslims, they mix with non-Muslims, their close friends are non-Muslims, and they speak and they make fun of people who are practicing. Yeah, I mean, sometimes hurts when it comes from a Muslim.
Yeah.
If it comes from a non-Muslim, well, he doesn't know. Maybe it's just reaction, normal reaction. But when it comes from a Muslim, it really hurts because you can see he has no sense of loyalty towards Islam or truthfulness towards the believers.
It is in fact. When you start to grow a beard in a Muslim country, they think of you as like being in the wrong way.
Yeah.
Okay, you should simply refer back to the Sunnah and see what's a beard in the Sunnah is. Like, it's as simple as that. Or you don't have to go, referring back to the wrong manhaj, of course. But try to find the right manhaj and see what's the beard is in the Sunnah.
Yeah.
So you, it really lets you down when you see a Muslim being in a way of attacking you for going by the Sunnah. It really lets you down.
Yeah.
But still, alhamdulillah, when you have you meet the regular brothers and things like that, alhamdulillah, you stick around with them. We're all bearded, alhamdulillah, so it's like, makes you feel like it's okay.
Yeah, and once even, I just recalled this, once I was praying, I was invited at a friend. He's not a Muslim, and I prayed at his place, and I had another Muslim colleague who was with me. The Muslim colleague and the non-Muslim friend, he told me, and he likes that, he respects that about me. So, and the Muslim colleague, he was like, why would you go and pray? You just leave the praying later on. So I was kind of surprised that the one who knows my religion comes against me, and the one who doesn't even know it respects me and showed me a room where I could pray.
Yeah. Well, let's trace this back to, or relate it to our subject. You know, if a person has loyalty towards Islam and you can see that sometimes people are not really practicing, but when they see a practicing brother, you can see the smile on their face, and they are so happy to see that you are a Muslim who's practicing, and they're proud of you. They have this sense of loyalty, and this brings that mutual love.
Yeah.
You love him straight away, and he loves you anyway because you are practicing.
Sure.
It's a person who has the true loyalty to Islam in his heart. But someone who is indulgent in sin, and when he sees someone who's practicing, someone, you can see the sunnah, I mean, on his looks, he sees that kind of person, he doesn't like that. He doesn't really like that. And you can feel or you can sense enmity from him.
Yes.
Straight away. You have never seen him, you don't know him. It's the first time you see him in your life.
Yeah.
But, well, you feel that he has enmity towards you. Why? Because you are practicing. Because he has the wrong sense of loyalty about Islam and about Muslims.
It's like they like to take the things that get along with them. They think that if it's not according to their lifestyle, so it's not in the deen. But still, it's something in the deen that you have to do this. Even maybe you're not used to it. But that's the sense of religion.
And some people will be like, no, that was back in the days when there was still camels, horses.
Yeah, they'll
now
give
we
it
should have. They misunderstand that no matter how much the technology gets developed or how much there's advanced in the world, that doesn't mean that you don't have belief, because values regulate you and make you even develop more. Sometimes they misunderstand that concept.
Yeah, with regards to this advancement and development, it's
Yeah.
just clear. We know the reality of this life, no matter how advanced we get. I mean,
Exactly.
this life is still a test.
Yes.
And, I mean, if there's advancement, okay, back in the days, at the time of camels and desert and all that, people used to live for 60, 70 years and die. Okay, if you are so advanced, why don't you live more than that? There are rules in this world that don't change. This life is a test. It's a passing moment.
That's
So-
why the Quran even is a miracle, because it came, the miracle of the Prophet ﷺ, because it came for the all times, to the end of time.
Actually, with having a belief, it reveals a high and elite character. But having no belief, you're just copying animals, because they have no belief. They just live to drink and eat. This is why Allah said, "Inhum illa kal an'am." They're just like animals. They eat, drink, and sleep. Some people, they deem life like this. Well, this is not technology. This is actually backwardness. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, and with regards to people who, as I say, who said advancement, and other than that, well, advancement is to serve humanity. And the main goals and objectives in this life, they are the same. Well, if you have a car or you have a camel, it doesn't mean that you are not going to die, or you're not going to see, either have punishment or have blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your grave. It doesn't mean you are not going to stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So these people whose vision has been blurred by means of this technology, well, this technology is for your own welfare. It is something to use for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa
And
ta'ala.
it's also a test from Allah.
It's a test as well.
Allah sees us if we're gonna use the technology that we have for good or for bad. Are we gonna use the media to spread good or to spread a bad image?
That's it.
Etc.
That's it.
They think that maybe Muslims don't like technology or advancement. Well, they should visit Muslims' country and see how we live around. We use most of the advanced technology that is around in the world.
Yeah, well, actually, if you go even to foreign countries, to the West, you'll find that the doctors in hospital, many of them, engineers, lawyers, teachers, professors at universities, different places.
Economists.
Yeah, they're Muslims.
It's true.
Well, wherever you go, actually. So it's not about, it's an accusation that Muslims are backward. I believe it's more through films and movies that this picture or this image has been shown to the world, which is not a true image. But Islam is more about understanding the reality of this life, and you know what you want from this life, so you're heading towards your objective. Because we can see, well, the more the world becomes advanced, the more suicide cases we have. Suicide rates are going really up. The World Health Organization says that suicide rates have increased by 60% over the last decade, which means they say about according to their statistics, every 40 seconds a person chooses to end his own life. Every 40 seconds in the Western Hemisphere, where there's advancement and all that, this is what they say. So advancement is advancement of your beliefs, your behavior, your character. That's in the first place. If you don't develop the side of your being, which is the character, the spiritual side, and the manners, if you don't develop that, you will be no different to animals.
Exactly.
You're no different to
And
animals.
the thing is, the body, or us as humans, we're made of the body and we have a soul. So we need a balance between what's spiritual, like beliefs, religious beliefs, and what's material, like advancement, technology. And some people, they just choose one side. Therefore, even sometimes the civilization don't last that much because it's only based on material. We have to have a balance.
Yeah, so our message is, first we say to those who are Muslims and to the non-Muslims as well, that open your mind, open your heart, and search for yourself. Search for the truth. Don't trust everything that is said to you. Don't trust the media. Some people, they take what they find on TV, they take their word for it. Everything is said is the truth. No, open your mind. There are plenty of things in the world that you don't know about. There are certain things that are presented to you in the wrong way. So it's for your own benefit, for your own advantage. Open your eyes, open your heart and your mind, and search for the truth. Search for the truth. And we say to the Muslims who lack this loyalty, because they themselves, they have a beautiful identity, they have a very good character, and they have a way of life that is from the Creator of the heavens and the earth. So no man-made law will ever reach that. So why do you do away with this? Inshallah, hopefully on coming episodes, we will discuss these important issues and how they relate to loyalty and truthfulness towards believers and towards Islam in general. Jazakumullah khairan for being with us and for taking the pains of joining us. And we say to our viewers, Jazakumullah khairan for your patience and for being with us. And I hope what we present is beneficial for all Muslims and non-Muslims alike. And at the end I say, I leave you in the protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.